Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Monday, August the 26th. We're almost up to September, very, very close. So Barry Trotz, as we start off this news video talking about the Nashville Predators, Trotz doing the smart thing when it comes to the extra cap space that the Nashville Predators will have or currently have, depending on how you look at it, with the Ryan Johansson contract termination by the Flyers. Technically, they have that, but with Johansson intending to fight that and the NHLPA looking at it, it's best to wait and see what the final ruling is and how much cap relief they actually get. So there's the possibility that a certain amount of that cap hit goes back onto the teams, both Philadelphia and Nashville. It's unlikely to be the whole contract, but you never know. So Trotz doing the smart thing and acting like that money's not there, but acknowledging that, they're going to have a chance to upgrade their roster, make improvements here and there. And that's ideally what you do with cap. You shouldn't spend right to the cap or above the cap. You should leave yourself a little bit of leeway there so you can improve the team as need be. GMs generally don't do this, but I think it's the best move to make. But anyways, maybe I'm in the minority there. At any rate, we'll see what Nashville does with that money once the dust has settled on that contract termination. We know what the final ruling is going to be, which we don't know as of yet. The Calgary Flames, of course, Rick Ball moved on to the Chicago Blackhawks to become their play-by-play announcer. I think he'll do a very good job in Chicago, but it opened up a job at Sportsnet for a new play-by-play broadcaster for the Flames, and they have picked John Abbott. John Abbott has 24 years of experience, various levels of hockey that he's called. He's also previously worked for Sportsnet on broadcast by Vancouver, Toronto, and Ottawa. Not their main play-by-play guy, but he has stepped in. So John Abbott gets a chance now to go nationwide of sorts. I mean, it is regional broadcast with Calgary for the most part, but you will hear him nationwide for certain games, of course, and all the best to him. That's the dream, right? That was always the dream for me was, I wanted to be a broadcaster, and this is broadcasting of sorts, I guess. But all the best to John Abbott in his new job. Bonus money. So something that's been pointed out, and Travis Yost mentions this, and Puckpedia is tracking this as well, is that bonus money on contracts is pretty high in 2026, and there's a reason. The collective bargaining agreement, it expires in 2026, so the 2026-2027 season, you never know, you might see a lockout. One thing that all that added bonus money does is it gets paid during a lockout. So a lockout does not protect owners from having to pay contracts with heavy bonus money there. Any bonus money at all, that signing bonus has to get paid out on July the 1st. I think what's great about this wrinkle, and we saw this the last time the collective bargaining agreement was up too, where all the contracts had big signing bonuses, I think it puts more pressure on the NHL to reach an agreement because you're not getting a relief from salaries. You're getting some relief, but not all of it. And so now you're paying out money in a year where if you lock the teams out, now you're really losing money. So I think this is honestly not a positive or a negative sign. I think it's kind of a wash because, yes, it does mean that the NHLPA could be digging in just in case. But it also means that the NHL doesn't really get the benefit of a lockout the way that they'd like. And I don't know what they're going to fight over this time around either. One thing that's important is we're going to see the NHL at the Olympics in 2026. It is not a coincidence that they're going back to the Olympics right before the CBA list. I don't think so. This was a sticking point with the last CBA was the Olympics. And so Olympic participation, if that gets the NHL labor piece, they have no problem with that. And so I really don't think we have anything to worry about come 2026 unless escrow becomes this major thing. The players say, we don't want it anymore. And owners would have to dig in. I don't know that that's something that the players or the owners would dig in that much on. It's really the only thing I can think of now. We're looking at a league where we're going to get expansion. The Coyotes moved to Utah. I think that was partly with the CBA in mind too, because they already knew the NHLPA and the new NHLPA head weren't happy about the situation in Arizona. So you move the team to Utah, you increase your cash flow into the league. And, I mean, they had record revenues this past season. Could the NHL make more? Sure. But when you're making record revenues, it's hard to argue that now is a good time to shut things down if you're owners. And it is a tough time for players to say, well, now we should go on strike because they're making good money right now. So anyways, we'll see what happens. But I think the signing bonus money being there is just, it's a way of showing that the players are well aware of when the collective bargaining agreement ends. So are the teams, and so are the agents, and so everybody understands why that money's there. Eric Portillo has signed a 3-year extension with the LA Kings. I've seen it reported a few different places that it's an entry-level contract. I kind of scratched my head on that thinking, well, no, he's already had an NHL contract. And I went through Puckpedia, and it appears he had a 2-year contract before this with the Kings. So it's a $783,000 cap hit for the 3-year extension for Portillo. He's seen as a potential top goaltender, like a starter at some point in time. Maybe ends up being a backup. But it is important for the Kings, of course, to have him signed. So that's done. That's one less restricted free agent to worry about going forward. We have 39 days until the regular season starts from now. That's, of course, the October 4th and October 5th global games. And then the games in North America get started on October the 8th. Training camps are roughly 3 weeks away. So as we get closer to training camps, we're going to see these boards get filled up. And we're going to see a lot more news going on, all that fun stuff. It has quieted down again, but we've seen some movement, and we'll see what kind of movement we get this coming training camp and preseason, and then into the season. I would imagine we'll see a lot more tryouts. Professional tryouts are going to be, I think, pretty common this month, because there's a lot of names still out there that we think as fans, this guy should be able to find a job somewhere, right? And so we'll see which one of those guys gets a tryout and earns himself a contract. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you've not done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.